Chapter 1. The Dirt Still Bleeds. The Mississippi night was thick enough to drown in. Cicadas screamed in the distance, 1,000 desperate voices sawing the humid dark into pieces. The asphalt cracked beneath Zeke's boots as he crossed the abandoned churchyard, the broken steeple leaning sideways like a drunk trying to whisper a secret. The others were already waiting. Malik perched on the rusted hood of a burnt-out Cadillac, cigarette burning low between two jittery fingers. His eyes kept flicking over his shoulder, like he expected the shadows to reach for him at any moment. Ruthie knelt in the dirt, tracing something into the dust with a broken twig. Shapes Zeke recognized, without wanting to. Old marks, old tongues, things from before memory had a name. "You sure about this, Zeke?" Malik asked, voice hoarse, brittle. He flicked the cigarette into the night where it hissed out unseen. "We dig here. Ain't no turning back." Zeke didn't answer right away. He adjusted the thick cloth wrapped around his eyes, a blindfold he didn't need to see. Not because he was blind, no. His problem was he saw too much. Spirits tangled around this place like kudzu vines. Chains dragged through the soil beneath their feet. Every breath carried the taste of blood and promises gone sour. "We dig," Zeke said finally, voice low, sure, or we stay chained, just like they wanted. Ruthie stood, wiping her dirty hands on her jeans. Her face caught the moonlight, young but worn, like somebody who'd seen too many bad summers stacked back to back. "They still watchin'," she whispered. "I can feel 'em. In the dirt. In the trees." Zeke nodded. "They always watchin'. They just waitin' for us to make a mistake." Malik shivered and grabbed the shovel. "I ain't never been much for waitin'," he muttered. And so they dug. The earth was dry, but as they went deeper, it turned dark and heavy, clinging to the shovel blades like wet meat. Sweat soaked their shirts, caked their hands. Every strike of the shovel seemed to echo louder than it should, like the land itself was groaning. The smell came first. Old copper and something fouler. Rot left to stew under a southern sun for too many lifetimes. Then the shovel hit something. Thunk. Malik cursed and dropped to his knees, clawing at the dirt with his bare hands. Ruthie helped, her fingers shaking. Together they unearthed it. An iron box, rusted but somehow still humming. Small, heavy, breathing a slow, angry beat against the night. The box wasn't locked. It was sealed. Black wax and knotted cords of human hair wound tight around it. Zeke staggered back as it surfaced. Under his blindfold, his eyes burned white-hot, visions crashing into him like a flood. A man screaming under a hanging tree. His shadow burned into the soil. A woman carving curses into the bones of the earth with bloodied fingers. Fields of white cotton stained red. A crossroads lit by torches, and a smiling man in a black hat offering contracts written in ash. Zeke doubled over, retching into the dirt. The visions clawed at him, at his soul, trying to pull him under. Ruthie grabbed his shoulder, grounding him. "Stay with us, Zeke. Stay here." He coughed, spit blood, and nodded. "Don't open it here," he gasped. "They'll smell it. They'll come." Malik stood, rubbing his shaking hands on his jeans. "Too late for that, brother," he said, because the shadows at the edge of the field were moving. Shapes peeled themselves from the tree line, tall, twisted, all bone and smoke. Their mouths were stitched shut with barbed wire. Their hands were iron claws dragging chains behind them, scraping sparks off the rocks. Crossroads shades, the ones who broke their contracts and got dragged back to the dirt. Now they were hungry, jealous of any living soul that still had a heartbeat. The first attack. The shades surged forward. Malik swung the shovel wildly, cursing, knocking one shade back, but it only laughed, a dry, cracking sound like paper tearing. Ruthie screamed as a shade wrapped a chain around her ankle, yanking her off her feet. Zeke tore the cloth from his eyes. White light exploded from him, searing, ancient, burning the shade that held Ruthie into a pile of ash. More shades came. Dozens. The air smelled like burning hair and fresh-turned grave dirt. "Ruthie! Malik! Run!" Zeke roared. But the box pulsed harder, louder, calling not just to the dead, but to something else. From far off in the night, a horn sounded, low, mournful, like a funeral dirge rolling across the fields. Zeke's heart dropped. "They know," he whispered. "They all know now." The escape. Malik grabbed the box. Ruthie limped, her ankle bleeding, but managed to stumble after him. Zeke threw out his arms, shouting words older than English, the old tongue, the language of blood and spirit. A wall of white flame roared up behind them, cutting off the shades for a few precious seconds. They ran, through the broken cemetery, across the cracked parking lot, and into the rusted shell of an old Baptist church. The door slammed behind them. For now, the shades stayed outside, wailing against the flame. But the box, it was still in Malik's arms, still humming, still waiting. Ruthie collapsed into a pew, panting, staring at the box like it might bite her. What do we do now?" she gasped. Zeke leaned against the altar, wiping blood from his nose. "We find a way to seal it again," he said. "And if we can't?" Malik asked. Zeke's blind eyes fixed on them both. "Then we either die right, or get ready to bow down to worse kings than Creel ever dreamed of. The road only gets darker from here. Tonight, the truth buried beneath Ashborne Plantation began to awaken. The names whispered through the cotton fields are no longer just stories, and the shadow walkers are drawing closer with every step. But the greatest danger isn't what hunts in the darkness. It's what has been waiting beneath the land all along. Join me for Chapter 2 of Ash King as the journey continues deeper into the heart of the curse. Subscribe, follow, and don't miss the next chapter. Because once the Ash King learns your name, he never forgets it.